Hello, hello. I'm still a little bit early, so I'll be waiting just a few minutes till everybody comes in. Let me turn my screen on, share my screen with you. Hello, hello. I see people starting to come in. Today we'll be talking about endometriosis. But we'll just wait a few minutes till more people come in. We're still early. I'm so happy that we're getting together again. It's been such a long time. I love contacting with you. So as you come in, please feel free. Tell me who you are, where you're from, so we can interact on the chat. We'll just wait one more minute and we'll start. But until then, let me know who you are, where you're from. So we'll be going over the theory first, a little bit of the theory, so you can have a better understanding of what endometriosis is. And then we'll go on to hands-on application with our device and our amazing technology. Hello, Mira. Hello, Carolina from London. Okay, so let's start. Okay, endometriosis. Okay, this is a woman's issue. Okay, and so common. Endometriosis is really a devastating, and it's so much misunderstood. It's a disease that's misunderstood today. It's estimated over the world that 70 million women suffer from endometriosis, and it's growing in number, unfortunately. And yet, a lot of people even don't know that they have it, or even heard about it, even though it's so common. Okay. So what is endometriosis? Endometriosis, hello, Gula. Endometriosis is a condition where tissue similar to the lining of the womb grows in other places, such as the ovaries, the fallopian tubes. Endometriosis can affect women of any age, from teenagers till older. It's a long-term condition, and that it can really impact your life, okay, in many ways. Yeah, some common symptoms of endometriosis: it's painful periods called dysmenorrhea. Hello, Emilia from Germany, and Tibor. Painful periods, dysmenorrhea. It's where there's pelvic pain and cramping, which may begin before and extend several days into the menstrual period. You may also have lower back and abdominal pain that is not normal, right? Hello, Ara. Cheers. Pain with intercourse, pain during or after intercourse is common with endometriosis. Pain with bowel movements or urination. So you're most likely to experience these symptoms during menstrual period. Excessive bleeding. You may experience occasional heavy menstrual periods or bleeding between periods. Intramenstrual bleeding, that is. Infertility. This is very common as well. Sometimes endometriosis is first diagnosed when seeking treatment for infertility. Even though many people have even the previous symptoms, they only realize that they have endometriosis when they see that they can't conceive, and they go into other examinations. Other signs and symptoms: you may experience fatigue, diarrhea, constipation, bloating or nausea, especially during menstrual periods. Okay. With endometriosis, the endometrial-like tissue acts as an endometrial tissue would. So the body gets a little bit confused. It thickens, it breaks down and bleeds with each menstrual cycle. But because this tissue has no way to exit your body, it becomes trapped. So when endometriosis involves the ovaries, cysts called endometriomas may form. Surrounding tissue can become more irritated and eventually develop in a scar tissue and even adhesions. Okay, bands of fibrous tissue can cause pelvic tissue and organs to stick together, so this becomes very painful. Okay, endometriosis can cause pain and sometimes very severe, especially during menstrual periods. And of course, fertility problems may develop. So normally for a woman to be diagnosed with endometriosis, you need either an ultrasound or MRI. Okay, you usually go to the gynecologist and they do the ultrasound, intra ultrasound or outer ultrasound or an MRI. Okay, so causes based on the classical medical field, although exact cause of endometriosis is not certain, possible explanations include, let's say, retrograde menstruation. This is when menstrual blood containing endometrial cells flows back through the fallopian tubes and into the pelvic cavity instead of out of the body. These endometrial cells stick to the pelvic walls and surfaces of pelvic organs, where they grow and continue to thicken and bleed over the course of each menstrual cycle, causing, these issues. Another explanation, medical explanation, is the transformation of peritoneal cells. This is known as the induction theory, and experts propose that hormones or immune factors promote transformational or peritoneal cells that line the inner side of your abdomen or pelvic area, including intestines, into endometrial cell-like, endometrial-like cells, that is. Embryonic cell transformation. Hormones such as estrogen may transform into embryonic cells. Cells in the earliest stage of development into endometrial-like cells, implants during puberty. So, these are different explanations that the medical field gives. Another one is a surgical scar implantation. This is when after surgery, such as, let's say, a hysterectomy or a C-section, endometrial cells may attach to these surgical incisions and, they cause adhesions. Another one is endometrial cell transport. The blood cells or tissue fluid lymphatic system may transport endometrial cells to other parts of the body. Immune system disorder. A problem with the immune system may make the body unable to recognize and destroy endometrial-like tissue that grows outside the uterus. So, there's different explanations, but, not one explanation. There's, a lot of ifs around it. So having mentioned these causes in this field, you know that there are also those causes of stress factors that we say, okay, that are the root cause of these causes just mentioned. Obviously stress is a key important and a key component, but also life habits. Okay, so things that we all women have to take care of, as in any other type of immune issue, immune factor, or autoimmune, okay? Dietary habits, the sugar, the gluten, the food additives, dairy products, red meat, caffeine, trans fats, smoking, alcohol, substance abuse, and medication. These are all key components that are stressors on the body and do cause factors causing endometriosis. So, all this has to be in limits. Okay, we have to be careful with the sugar and the gluten and all this dietary habits. So our technology, through the nucleus, through the Eductor 1, we get very valuable information on addressing these causes and seeing if they are causes or aggravations, let's say, for endometriosis. Okay. Risk factors involved. There are several risk factors that place you at greater risk for developing endometriosis, such as for never giving birth, or starting your period at an early age, going through menopause at an older age, shorter menstrual cycles, for instance, less than 27 days. These are all risk factors for developing endometriosis. Some other factors that put you at greater risk for developing endometriosis are heavy menstrual periods that last longer than 7 days, having higher levels of estrogen in your body or a greater lifetime exposure to estrogen your body produces, low body mass index, hereditary factors, any medical condition that prevents the passage of blood from the body during menstrual periods, or disorders of the reproductive tract. So, we can see all these stressors and risk factors in our technology. Okay. Complications that arise with endometriosis: infertility, fertilization, and implantation. This is the first thing that I mentioned previously, is that, many women first realize that they have endometriosis when they try to conceive, and they see that they can't conceive, and they go through certain tests. So the main complication of endometriosis is impaired fertility. Approximately 1/3 to 1/2 of women with endometriosis have difficulty getting pregnant. Other symptoms can be ovarian cyst, ectopic pregnancy, pelvic inflammatory disease, which is also very painful, irritable bowel syndrome are symptoms of endometriosis, fibroid tumors, appendicitis, So you may have any of these and also have endometriosis. Other complications that may arise: cancer. Okay, it doesn't mean that having endometriosis means that you have cancer, but it's a deeper and complication that may arise if it's not taken care of. Okay, ovarian cancer does occur at higher than expected rates in those with endometriosis, but the overall lifetime risk of ovarian cancer is low to begin with. Okay, so some studies suggest that endometriosis increases that risk, but it's still relatively low. Okay, although rare, another type of cancer endometriosis associated with is adenocarcinoma, and that can develop later in life with those who have had endometriosis. They have also noticed colon cancer as well with endometriosis. Okay, so that is that on my on the theory, and let's go to the hands-on. With our technology. Hands-on. Okay, so let's start. First, let's see where endometriosis is at in the matrix. Okay, endometriosis. Let's see, we search. We see dysmenorrhea, endometriosis. We see, and here it is. It's at 83. So, sometimes we know from our experience that sometimes some things that we may have and we may be diagnosed with may not be reacting because our body in the matrix, because our body may be so used to it, it's adaptation, or we may have reactivity dysfunction coming up. It's not coming up here, but there are situations where endometriosis may come up and not be reacting in the matrix. So a way of checking it out is doing, let's say, a individual reaction. Let's put that endometriosis on our yellow line here and return to main and do an individual reaction. And let's see what's going to come up. Okay, so this is really interesting. Look what's coming up. It's total reaction 70, giving us that indication that endometriosis is actually, it's above 50. So, and it's, 70% reacting. So it is an issue. And another indication that it is an issue is that the rectification is low and we need more rectification on it. Okay. We see some kind of allergic reaction. So we need to jot that down and go into what we may be allergic to, our dietary, the lifestyle that I was telling you about before. So we'll go into that. Allergic. Exercise. That is an interesting fact that it comes out. Doctors and even the medical field, they say, we all know that exercise is very, very important for our health. We need to have it in our daily lives. Exercise is very important. But for endometriosis, it is very important. People with endometriosis should exercise and they should try to have more muscle mass. This will help with the estrogen levels. This will help with the hormonal levels. Okay, people with endometriosis need to have exercise in their daily lifestyle habits. And here it says here, and for me, because I'm testing me, it gives me yoga. So it's telling me that yoga is a good type of exercise that I should put into my life. Okay. Link to detox link. So that is another issue that I should go into homotoxicology. It's telling me. Virus sensitivity. Some viruses may trigger and infections may trigger some kind of an inflammatory response. And anger. So anger doesn't suit me. Anger is an issue. Remember, anger also does affect the liver. And the liver issues and toxicity do affect endometriosis. Okay. So we can go ahead and do 30-second zaps so that we get a good rectification. And we can jot down these numbers here. 325, 1235, 836, 339, 272, and 2903. What are these numbers? These numbers are matrix numbers that may be associated with factors of my endometriosis. Okay, so we will also look into those, piggyback them, so that we can have a deeper and better, therapy and results. Training, quantum biofeedback training. Okay, so already from my initial investigation of endometriosis, I found that I have to go into the allergies. I have to go into my homotoxicology, virus, and emotions. And we'll also see additional information. So we do the 30-second zaps until we get a good rectification here. If you have any questions while I'm going along, feel free to ask me. Okay, I see your questions online and I'll be happy to answer and have interaction with you. %. So that's a good rectification. So let's see what else the device and our technology is giving me as information. It's telling me to go to 1229, go to index, let's see. So an amino acid enzyme used oxidase. It's for amino acid regulation dysfunction. Okay, so good idea. Oops. Show info. I would like to do a quick zap on that. Okay. The amino acid oxidase. Enzymes are very, very important, in our whole process of hormonal and digestion and metabolic issues. So it's a good idea here to put it as a piggyback since it's telling me to. And let's take a look at those numbers that I wrote down, 325, and what it will give us. Alleviates cough and lungs. Now, too analytical of life. Okay, so, thank you, Tibor. Okay, so yeah, lungs can be affected from endometriosis. Endometriosis has so many and different complications and symptoms, and that's why it is, so misunderstood. Okay, and people don't actually look into that part, and they see, yeah, endometriosis does have an effect also on the lungs. 1, 2, 3, 5. Sugar. There we go. Sugar addiction. And I do have sugar addiction. And I was working in our class this morning, in one of our classes this morning, on my sugar addiction. Okay, so 836. Even though I've cut the sugar down, this weekend it was a difficult weekend, and I started the sugar again, and it's really addictive. Just a little bit triggers that. 836. Let's see. There we go. Wheat, grain mill dust, and wheat. Allergy sensitivity for the gluten. Okay, what did I say in the beginning, in the theory? Sugar, gluten, dietary habits. It's coming up. The device knows what it says. 339. Cholesterol, there we go, high cholesterol. So, that is an issue of the liver, okay? And liver issues, if the liver, we all know that the liver is the organ, it's the kernel of all organs, it's the top organ. If the liver is not doing its job and it's blocked, and it's not cleaning the blood as it should be, and there's inflammation, cholesterol is an indication of inflammation, it goes domino to all other organs. So that is an issue. 339, the next number was 272. So this is really interesting, right? Spleen remedy. Okay, antidotes for alcoholism. I'm not addicted to alcohol. I do like my wine, but I don't have it every day, once in a while. But, things like that, even a little bit may affect me. Remember, our device tells us what affects a specific person and how it affects it. A little bit of alcohol for me may be too much, where someone else may drink more and they're not affected, right? So reactions that are coming up are there for a reason, and they're there. That's why when people say, do we have a protocol for this? It's not a protocol. It's addressing the factors that are influencing each person as a unique identity. Everybody is unique, right? Okay, so 272, 2903. I mean, we have the basic structure, as in the theory that I told you. Then we have to go in, rescue remedy for emergency stress. Yeah, because I had a difficult weekend this weekend of work, not really stress, but it was, a lot of work. So let's also search some other, based on our theory that I mentioned before. Let's see the pelvic inflammatory disease that I mentioned. Where is that? Okay, it's at 68. Okay, not reacting, but we can do an individual reaction and see if we get a number there. Okay, investigation. It's a good idea when you first get a person in, investigate what the situation is. So 72%. So there is an issue there too on the pelvic inflammatory. Homeopathy will be good. Okay, and this was 72%. Okay, so I can jot it down, but at this point, since I had my initial information for direct, endometriosis, I'm not going to go into all these numbers, but I'm just looking into seeing possibly what other information I may have. 8218, go to index number, fried foods. There we go. Shouldn't have any fried foods. Those are the saturated fats. So, it's gotten the information that we need to, on one hand, tell the person what they need to do in their daily life, and on the other hand, what we need to do, right? So what we can do here to get more information around the pelvic inflammatory disease, let's say, is test the item against the main matrix. Okay, let's see what comes up. When we test an item against the main matrix, we get 4 yellow lines here on the bottom. Let's see what came up. Came up Spiroxin, monastery of herbs, emotional leak of self-esteem, beginning ulcers and sores, warts, and combo remedy to help eliminate intestinal parasites and worms. Okay, so, I always like to respect whatever the device gives me. So, I can click on them once and load them into the info report. While I'm here, I would also like to do an investigation on the whole matrix with the endometriosis. So let me get that back on the line, endometriosis. Let me get it back here. Okay, and let's do a test against the main matrix. Okay, I'm not confusing you. I hope I'm not confusing you. I may be going fast, but you'll have the video available as of tomorrow on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, so you can see our video as many times as you want. Okay, so look what comes up. This is interesting. Stomach enzymes for stomach ulcers and digestion. Yeah, I mean, it's what the theory says, that digestion is affected, the stomach enzymes. Here we go, colon, bowel, intestine, and inflammation of the colon. Sexual stimulation, who knows, maybe, and weight loss, to help weight loss. So maybe the endometriosis, it's the hormonals that has been affecting me, probably for my issue of weight loss. Okay, so this is interesting. Let's go into chromosomes. See if there is any DNA factor that is being affected with the endometriosis. So filter chromosome and do a test. And let's see what story we're going to get. By doing testing on some filters, we get a story. And this is the interesting thing about it, and we can get to the bottom of our issues. So, look at this. Let me show my info report. And muscular dystrophy. So it's because, endometriosis, another symptom that I didn't mention in the beginning, is also pain in the legs, since we do have pelvic inflammatory disease. It does affect, the circulation in the legs, the muscles. So muscular dystrophy, epilepsy and immune deficiency, osteodystrophy, lactose deficiency, wrinkled skin, eye disorders, vitamin C and B6 deficiency, and arteriosclerosis, calcium disorders, okay? And hypercholesterolemia and migraine headaches. Very interesting. So, it's giving us ideas of maybe we have some of these symptoms, and it's carried on through our DNA. So what we do is we just, click on these things once, and it loads it in our info report. And that way, throughout our whole therapy, it's piggybacked. Or we can double click and do therapy on it. Catalina? Yeah, well, I like to do Catalina is asking how efficient virtual therapy is when we're not wearing the harness. That is a good question, and a lot of people ask me. I'm clicking on, by the way, each line, so we do a quick little zap while I'm talking. It's a good question, Catalina, and a lot of people ask me. There is a difference. Quantum biofeedback is with the harness. So having said that, quantum biofeedback, which is our device, is a neurological medical device, and it's a quantum biofeedback medical device. And that means it's used with the harness. Okay? Virtual subspace is spiritual work. It works, but it's not neurologically medical device. Okay? It's two different things. It does work. I do subspace. I do virtual. We can say that you can get like 60% results with virtual. Okay, but it's spiritual work. It's not quantum biofeedback. What we call it is quantum feedback, quantum spiritual feedback. Okay, not quantum biofeedback. Okay, so it's two different things. Okay. It does work. I also do virtual. I know my device never stops all night. I have it working on somebody, either a client, on my family, whoever needs me. I have it working. My device never stops. Okay. But I like doing medically with the harness. Okay. The virtual is extra, is when you can't do it with the person for some reason, because we're sleeping, or because they're far away, or whatever, or they can't come for some reason. Okay, that's how I use it. Okay, so having said that, we looked into the chromosomes. Okay, let's also look into emotions. Okay, and see what's going on with the endometriosis and emotions. Let's do a test. In the individual reaction, it came up anger. Let's see what else is going to come up. I hope I answered your question, Catalina. So, addictive personality in general, aggression, guilt, and psychic pain, and emotional pain. So what we can do is, again, either double click, so we can do a small little therapy, or zap. And at the same time, when you're doing that, it loads in the blue box. Okay. So we are reducing these stress factors that are causing the endometriosis, causal factors. Yeah, Catalina, yes, you're absolutely right. It does. It works. It works, but it's just different. Okay? It's just different. I do believe in the subspace work too. And I do it for my loved ones, for me, for my family, but it is different. It's not medical. Okay? It's our intention, and our intention does work. Okay, guilt and psychic pain. So we did that. Now, having done that, let's do a little bit of the chain reaction. Okay, remember, I'm sure you've seen my videos on the chain reaction. Endometriosis, what number was it? Let me go back. I think it was 85 or something. Endometriosis, 83. Okay, so return to main. And let's go to chain reaction. Okay, remember the chain reaction? For those who haven't seen the chain reaction, it analyzes at what age the issue with whatever you want to test started. It's where that started. And when you break that start, you help with a therapy. Okay, that's the chain reaction. So 83 was the reaction of endometriosis on the matrix. So you put it here where it says highest concern value, 83, and it mentions years at chain reaction started at 33. Interesting. Interesting. At 33, I have two children, but in between the two children, I had one child that I lost in between, and that was that age. That is interesting. Very, very interesting. So, whatever it causes, these items, and we add to report, and they're all loaded on the blue box. I close it, age 33. Let's do something else here. On the green line here, 33 years old. Okay, we can put that and do an even deeper search of both trays and see what story is going to come up. Interesting. Getting stories and finding, the root cause. So let's see. At endometriosis at 33 years old, pre or post menopause hormones, emotions, immunopathology, unidentified, and desensitization to environment and urban toxins, long-term protection. So this is interesting because when this happened, I was running around in the city and that happened. Who knows? For some reason, I always even though, there are times where you really don't know why something may be coming up, but for some reason it is coming up. So all I do is just load them and respect it. Okay. You can do even an emotion around the endometriosis and the 33-years old back then, and let's see what's going to come up as a final investigation. Spirituality, submissive, addictive personality came up second time, and sensuality. Okay. Interesting. I will just click on them once to load them in the little blue box, and we load the report items. So it says report items loaded. Okay. And we have all that information that we just got loaded, and it will be working throughout the entire session. Okay, so let's go now to our short sarcodes. And let's go. First of all, we load. Oops. I didn't do something very important. Oh, I did. These things are loaded. Okay. Sorry. Short sarcodes. I just saw it a little bit empty and I was wondering why. Shortcut to RX, load, okay, and look, miscellaneous food preservatives, which is also a factor affecting endometriosis, okay? So we need, and wine and alcohol, that is interesting, okay, because I am allergic to certain wines that have preservatives. I know when a wine has a preservative, I immediately have an allergic reaction. And that's interesting. I love our device. Load and close. Okay, so let's prepare our body. Let's go first to the endocrine system and double click so we can prepare the endocrine system. The entire endocrine system is very important for the endometriosis issues. Okay, we got a good repair here. We can go to the female. Let's do it one more time. Our goal is always to have the repaired at least 10% over all the numbers. So let's do it again. Oops, something going on there. We can also do, mast, mucus, adipose, degeneration, inflammation. And let's do it one more time. Okay, even if you don't get a good rectification, you can keep on going because even that small little zap does do something. But, lo and behold, I got the good rectification. 87%. Okay, so it's 10% over inflammation. Even though these are still high, I'm satisfied with this. Okay, let's go to the next female option. (91%). That's good. And let's go to kidney. We're going to go to kidney, large intestine, small intestine, and liver. Very important. And also lymph. Lymph is also very important. So, working endometriosis is not a lot different than working other autoimmune because there are so many similarities, okay? But you kind of like just focus. Okay, so we see a lot of toxicity because we need to make sure the kidneys and the liver do the job and are clearing the blood, okay? So the toxins don't go and into the blood and create these problems as endometriosis. Okay, so we see we're more times here. I'm going to do this just last time, and if it's not clear, our second option is putting them in the body viewer and letting it run there so we can support. Let's do the large intestine first, and then we'll do the liver and small intestine and the lymph. I have, one second, let me close these. Sorry, I've had them from before because I was working. Okay. Okay, let's go to the liver. Let's do it one more time. 70%. Okay, it's not 10% over the other ones, but at least it's higher. Let's go on to the lymph. Okay, we'll do it one more time. And then we'll load them also on the body viewer after we do our risk panel so that they can be supported throughout the entire session. Remember that, building your therapy from the beginning in a proper way, it's very important because you're telling your device how you want to work. You're layering in your therapies and you're layering in, the areas where you want to focus and all the piggybacks. So, okay, that's done. We can do the small intestine. Great, and we got 100%, even though inflammation is at 92. Okay, we'll leave it at that, and we can close it here, and let's go to our risk panel. Okay, so, because I've already loaded the first few items, you load double click on the first few items, so they're loaded on the top, but I would also, load other items like the immune system, like the liver, definitely, sugar regulation, which is an issue, the sugar, remember, toxicity, parasites, emotions, cholesterol that was coming up, remember, for inflammation of the liver. And liver is up here too. Degeneration, yes, and hormonal, definitely. So, you do a treat area, and you want your rectification over 85. Okay, and at this point, we can also open up our body viewer, and we have the issues there, all the items that we double-clicked, piggybacked. Let's see. There we go. So we can go to the organs and, put lymph degenerative, kidneys, okay, liver, small intestine, and large intestine. Oops, 98%. Okay, so we can zap close, and let's go back to the body viewer and finish with that. Yeah, we did lymph, kidney, liver, small intestine. Okay. Let's do the spleen, because remember the spleen was coming up in the beginning, and the endocrine system, all the entire endocrine system. Okay. We don't need the testes, so okay. Well, we did all load them. Okay. So I just leave it there to load all the endocrine system. Okay, and let's go then to the dark field analysis and work the blood. The blood is a very important area. We can type in here your Sarcode, let's say uterus, okay? And we can go to the blood treatments. Okay, and do bone marrow. We can do blood degeneration and blood toxicity. These are good to do for endometriosis. But another important area to work is the recommended action. Okay, it's one of my favorite here in the dark field analysis, because it really finds which, it's like a diagnostic. Okay, too many protein veil. Let's see if we click that, what will come up here. Abundance of protons, digestive organs. There we go. Pancreatic insufficiency, leaky gut syndrome, and liver issues. Those are primary issues affecting endometriosis. as I said in the beginning. Okay, and there we go. Bowel detox, enzymes, saturated fats, improper detox of kidneys, and food additives and pharmaceuticals, just like I said in the beginning. So here I would definitely do, I'm just going to put a minute now as a starter, but I usually like to do at least 3 minutes, whatever unconscious choice brings you. But you see, these are all interrelated. Okay, so it's very, very important. Now here on this panel, it also suggests certain supplements. Supplements that are very good for endometriosis are B complex. B complex is very important for endometriosis. It helps with the estrogen. It's been found also that pine bark is good for endometriosis because it also helps with estrogen level and hormonal level. Pine bark. Q10, very important. Omega. Evening primrose oil, very good for endometriosis. Okay. Yeah, and folic acid. Those are very important supplements that you can use for endometriosis. I said Q10. Rhodiola is also very good for lowering your stress. Okay. So look, we got 87%, which is great. Okay. So talking about vitamins, let's go to the nutrition panel. And let's see what's going on. Look what is going on here. A lot of high numbers. Now, what do these high numbers mean? A lot of people ask me, does high numbers mean we need it? Or does high numbers mean we don't need it? Or the low numbers mean we need it? What do the numbers mean? Numbers, remember, are reactions. It doesn't mean that we have too much or too little. It means we are reacting, okay? In order for us to know if we are low in those numbers, we need medical, blood test to know exactly what's going on. But you're always safe to say that with certain supplements to give. For instance, with vitamin C you can give because vitamin C is a supplement that your body takes as much as it needs, and it the rest just goes out. But you do need to be careful with the kidneys and stones. So usually when I give vitamin C, I give ester C or rose hips. Light. It's easier on the kidney. That type of vitamin C. So D3, vitamin D3, 109. That is an issue. It's reacting. Now, normally, it's winter. Normally, people have low vitamin D, but it's a good idea to see how low they are. So you have blood exams taken. The same with B complex. Usually, I normally don't see people with very high B12, but sometimes they may be toxic. I have seen in my time of working and in my experience, few people that do have, even though they have they're anemic or they have low iron or low, and they need B complex, they may have high B12. So you need to be careful about that before giving any supplements to anybody. Have blood tests taken. Okay, that is because they are reacting. Okay. Low numbers here, Q10. Now, Q10 is also a safe supplement to give, just as omega. Omegas are also safe. People can never have enough of it, of omegas and Q10. So, some of these are safe to use, are okay. It's okay. Here, vitamin K. Vitamin K is also probiotics. Okay. So that is also safe to give. And you can say that 106, it means that a person is reacting and they do need it. Okay. So having said that, with certain of the vitamins, if they are reacting, have them have blood test done so you know where they're at before you advise them on anything. Usually, before a person comes, I have them already taken them. So that way, by looking at this and looking at their blood exams, I know immediately what they need and what they should have. Okay. But having said that, by working all this, each one of them that is over 100, you can do a Nutrienergy Balance. Okay. And in that way, they absorb each cell absorbs those vitamins through our food better, and we don't have the leaky gut syndrome. Okay. Somewhere I remember I saw the leaky gut. I think I saw the leaky gut in the dark field analysis. Okay. So it's important to work on these factors. So I would go in each vitamin that's over 100 here, or low numbers on the other hand. I would do the Nutrienergy Balance. Okay, so that way it opens up the pillar to have better absorption from our food. Okay. So I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm just showing you one by one what I would do. And definitely go into the protein digestion, carbohydrate, fat digestion, and general digestion, and enzymes. Doing all of these are very important Nutrienergy balances because it works different peptides and different digestive factors, reducing the stressors. Very important. Okay, I'm not going to do them all of them right now, but you understand what I mean. Okay, working all the Nutrienergy Balance and working proper digestion. Okay, because all this does affect the inflammation in your body, so it doesn't result, and it helps with the endometriosis. Internal enzymes. Okay, internal enzymes, very important in addressing. Okay, always address those that are bold and finish off with doing increase all enzyme production. Okay. You can do each one once and then do all enzyme production and do going around again a second time to make sure that you get a good rectification on all of them. Okay, so on the last two, I got good rectification, so then I would just repeat the first two. Okay, increase HCl production. This is also very important for the stomach digestion. Okay, hydrolyzing and lipase production. Okay, so yeah, doing all these are very important. Of course, you will do the female problems. Do you wish the questions? No. Do hormone balance and ovary balance. Very, very important. Do the stress adrenal balance. Very, very important for endometriosis. And the other one is also the Nutri-Enzyme Hormone Stabilization. These are all very important programs to do for when you're addressing endometriosis and fertility issues and menstruation and pain. I have had fantastic results with endometriosis and our device, and just some daily lifestyle changes that may come up here that comes up, fantastic results. Remember also the universal biofeedback therapy, part of your startup, doing whatever your two top therapies up here, auto-meridian therapy, okay? There are specific meridians that we can use, but we can also do a search, let's say endometriosis, and do a test the meridian to an item, okay? And it will give us, by doing it this way, it will give us which meridians have been affected or are affecting the endometriosis. So we can address those meridians. And look, whatever lines come up either yellow or green are weak. The greens are greatly weak. It says it here. Okay. So what we would do, look, the lung meridian. Somewhere in the matrix, lung came up for endometriosis. And, it is a factor. Large intestine, neurological, hormone, and fatty degeneration. Very interesting how these came up. Device always knows. I love our technology. Okay, so you do each one once. Each one once. And so we can clear those numbers. Hormone. And fatty degeneration, okay? Now, remember in the beginning, also allergic reactions came up, homotoxicology came up. So, I will go into the allergies. Remember here, we always finish up in a universal with a scalar. Okay, I'm not going to do it now because you all know that. But let's go into the allergy. And the allergens, hyper-reactants, see what's going on there with our daily lives. Look, let's see, food additives, reaction there. Food hyper-reactants, dairy sensitivity, okay, sensitivity to odor and pollen sensitivity. Let's see the foods that are coming up. Okay, red meat, thyme. I can know what thyme is actually good. Okay, but there is an allergy related animal, cattle, fig. Okay, so what you do is double click, load these items here. Whatever is over 100, I suggest to load them because they are causing some kind of reaction in the body. Go to the phenols down here. Maybe in the past I've taken Dramamine, who knows, aloxantin, scatol, industrial solvents. Load those there and do an emotional link before you do the sensitivity. So we see what kind of emotional link is linked to the allergies, focus, mind, and enthusiasm. So meaning that there's lack of enthusiasm and a need to focus the mind. So it's giving us that indication to work the brain and super learning for focus. Okay. So, there's never a loss of what we need to be doing. the device keeps telling us every step of the way where to go next. And that's the amazing part. Okay, let's see how we're going to do here. See. So if you have any questions, just feel free to ask. We'll be wrapping up soon and seeing how we did. There we go, 120%, very good. I always like also to go that step further when working the allosodes through the hyper-reactant therapy, which takes you back to the meridian and our universal therapies. We load the items here, enter body areas affected. Thank you. I'm so happy. But I'm always free. All questions are welcome. Okay, so enter body areas affected. You can say uterus. Okay, you can say pelvic area. Okay, you can say intestinal. We had the liver coming up. We had the kidneys coming up. Okay, areas affected. Hormones. Okay, endocrine. Okay, allergic symptoms. Okay, we can also put endometriosis, inflammation in general, okay, hormonal, weight gain, okay, whatever you want. Relieve inflammation, but you can check everything up here and put 1 minute and do a start desensitization. And do it over and over again until your rectification is over 85. Okay, I'm not going to do it now because it takes more than a minute. Even though you put a minute, it takes more because it's the artificial intelligence telling us that it wants more, so it's doing more. Okay. So yeah. We do the allergies, and the next thing, remember, it was the toxicity that came up in the beginning with the individual reaction. So, and I put down to do also homotoxicology. Let's go into homotoxicology. Okay. Homotoxicology, inflammation of tissue. So the good thing is that my indication here of the homotoxicological system is not in the neoplasm or degeneration fibrous tissue. Okay, I'm still here in the inflammative tissue, which is great. Okay, I notice here the right spin and the left spin. We need to be more left spin and we need to be more negative magnetic. Okay, this is very important. The left spin we need gives us the indication that we need to be eating more fruit and vegetables, more light, more natural stuff. Okay, if you're more right, left meaning light, so it gives us that indication that we need more natural products in our lives. Okay. What is high? Smoking, maybe nicotine. I don't smoke. Now, why would smoking be so reactive on me? Maybe I was next to people that smoke. But it's true that when people are next to me and smoke, it does bother me. Okay, so that is the reason why it's so high here, because I do react. It doesn't suit me. Okay, so let's look at the xenobiotics and what's going on. There we go. Leaky gut syndrome, stomach violation, constipation, allergy, surgery on tissue, okay, stress, alcohol. These are reactions for me, even though I don't drink a lot of alcohol, but when I do, it maybe bothers me. Stress. Okay, there's the virus, because remember, virus also came up. Some kind of virus, maybe the coronavirus or some other virus, has affected me, and inflammation in my body. Beauty shop toxins, radiation, heavy metals. So maybe all this I need like a detox. Okay, so I would do the treat top 5. Another good supplement to give for endometriosis, for especially with the heavy metals, etc., is chlorella. Okay, so have that in mind too. Okay, so you do the treat top 5, and remember, homotoxicology are for those people who have done at least 3 therapies of biofeedback, so you don't get any reactions, okay, on them. And remember, when you do homotoxicology on a person, always go afterwards again to short Sarcodes, to support those organs that you're detoxing. Or if you don't have time to go to short Sarcodes, you can do this detox pulse terminate. It's an AFE that also helps with the detox. Okay, so it always depends on what you have time for. My best is to go to the short Sarcodes and do one by one, specifically the organs of elimination and the organs that you want to focus on from short Sarcodes, and do them till you get a good rectification. Okay, but if you don't have time, this is also a good therapy to do when you finish with the homotoxicology process. Okay, until you get the rectification of over 100. Okay, so out of curiosity, let's see how I did, or how we did. We always like to empty this box at the end, okay, so that we can wrap up the therapy, and we can do a test for hope improvement, and see how we did. Okay, let's see how we did. So this is a 1.5 minute process. Any questions? There's so many ways that we can address endometriosis, because as I said in the theory in the beginning, it affects everything, from, the hormones, the constipation, inflammation, allergies, everything. So there's so many ways at addressing these issues. And the point is doing the basis in the beginning of finding what the issues are, and addressing them each time. So let's wait 33 seconds still, and we'll see how we did. %. 83%. Amazing. Okay, so when you do what your device tells you, you get good results. okay, and your focus. It's not a matter of, doing 2 hours, 5 hours, or whatever, and doing everything. I did specific things that the device told me. I wrote down my notes, I wrote down my notes from the beginning. I loaded what we needed, and we got it, 83%. So, any questions? If you think about anything, I'm online on Messenger. You can, text me or text the company, and they'll send me whatever questions you have. I'll be happy to answer and help anybody. Okay. I love you all. You're amazing. Okay, thank you so much for hearing me. I love having this interaction with you. See you with our next webinar. We'll keep you posted. Bye. Thank you. I thank you. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you. I hope I helped all of you.